Hey guys, our next video in the 5 Years in Peru video series is things I miss about Texas, or things I miss about living in the States. Now, I feel like that's a question that a lot of people ask missionaries, and I think in the beginning I was always a little sensitive about that question because I thought, well, when we go to another country, instead of focusing on what we miss, shouldn't we focus on creating a new life there and about replacing what we might miss with new things and new joys in the new culture? And I still carry that same opinion. I think it's so important not to dwell on what we miss. But of course, as the years go by, there's still things that are irreplaceable, things that you grew up with. And so that's what we'll talk about today. So I know I'm such a health nut nerd, which some of you might know, but one of the things I miss most are certain vegetables that I can't get here. Specifically zucchini, Brussels sprouts, lots of leafy greens, like going to the store and picking up this fresh organic spring mix that's already washed for you, and all you have to do is throw it in a bowl and eat a big delicious salad. I miss those vegetables. I also miss not having to wash the vegetables just to avoid parasites. So the water treatment here in Peru isn't the same as in the States. And while I'm not a big proponent of drinking a lot of straight tap water in the States, I think it is good to filter. In Peru, it's even more necessary to filter or boil that water. And so the vegetables and fruits are watered with that water, even with dirtier water out in the fields where they grow. So you know that, especially if you're a foreigner, you need to wash your fruits and vegetables with a little bit of bleach or a little bit of hydrogen peroxide in the water. And that just gets tiring to every single time I ever want to eat a vegetable. I have to make sure it's been washed really well. And thankfully, now that I've been here for 5 years, my system is much more adapted, and I can get away with a lot more than I did in the beginning. But I do miss being able to go to the store. Even Walmart has great fresh vegetables that you can buy that are organic, that are chopped for you, or whatever. And I also miss that ease, that here everything has to be made from scratch. And I do appreciate that because you really have to think more about what you eat. But I can't go to the store. I couldn't for example, go to Whole Foods and get something off the healthy food bar, and just eat it right there or take it to lunch. You have to be much more thoughtful. And that's another thing I miss. I do miss Whole Foods. And it's pretty expensive, but one of the things that Ashley and I, one of my best friends, and who we lived together up until I moved to Peru, every week we'd go to Whole Foods together, and that would be our special time to buy any extra special things that we may not be able to get at like a Walmart or something like that. And we'd always treat ourselves to something a little special, maybe a little frou-frou and organic. And that was always fun. Things like that don't exist here. Now, other things I miss that have to do with family. Obviously, I miss being with family. With family, although I feel like we actually communicate even more because of technology. So I remember in my last years in the States, I was in grad school and I was working and I lived down the street from my parents, but I didn't talk to them every day, sometimes not even every week. But now that I'm here in Peru, my mom and I send Facebook messages and we try to FaceTime each other every couple of weeks. And so I think I might even talk to my parents more now than I did in the States. But one thing I really miss is monthly family dinners. Every month, I think it was the end of the month, we would get together with my mom's side of the family, because they live in Texas, get together with my aunt and my cousins and their family, and that was just so special. I loved and looked forward to that time, to have my family and all the extended family there together and just kind of forget about the worries of the day and get to eat food together and watch the kids do stuff. And I miss that, getting to do that with my family. And I am thankful, though, that I do get to do that here with Nilton's family. And that's another thing I miss about family time. I think here, family time is very free. I don't know how to explain it. I think I might have explained it in other videos that people just sit and talk. And I feel like in the States, sometimes we try to be more organized about certain things. Like someone may have brought a game for the kids or a craft for us to all do together, or we'll have an outing planned. Or we'll sit and talk about, I think in my family, we'll sit and talk a lot about interesting topics. And I feel like in Peru, people talk a lot about just memories. Talk about what the neighbors are doing, and then talk about, oh, don't you remember that time 10 years ago when so-and-so did that? And I think we do that in the States, but that's something I miss too, is just how common it is to just have a deeper conversation, or a conversation about interesting things you've learned or interesting things going on, that isn't necessarily talking about memories, but could be talking about interesting topics. I miss that, and getting to do that with my family. Obviously, I miss Thanksgiving. I miss Thanksgiving. I think that's the holiday I miss the most, just because it's all about family, And I miss Christmas too, getting to spend Christmas with family. It's definitely different here because it's hot. It's summer at Christmas here, so it's still a little weird to see the faces of Santa and snowmen everywhere when it's summer. But I do miss the. I remember I asked Nilton once, "Would you like one time to spend winter in the cold, or spend Christmas in the cold?" And he said, "Yeah, then it'd be like the movies, because they see the movies here of people being in the snow at Christmas, but that's not something they would have ever experienced." I also miss couches you can sink into. I feel like in general, the living room isn't for you to like take a nap and rest in. It's for family time, but it's not necessarily built up and decorated to be cozy like some of our living rooms or dens or playrooms in the States might be. Those things, that's what your bedroom's for here. So if you want to rest, if you want to lounge, you might go to your bedroom for that. And so couches just in general I find them uncomfortable. They're not like the ones we have in the States. So whenever I go home to my parents and I just get to sit in that couch that just is made to like envelop you and made for you to get all cozy in, that's something I miss. Having that freedom in your home to feel just that relaxed in your living room. I also miss hot showers and baths that last forever. I know my family and any roommates I have will be thankful that we don't have to split the water bill anymore. But since we have water heaters here, like that are in your bathroom next to your shower, and you typically have to, our water heater, for example, you have to plan when you're going to take a shower and turn on the water heater about 20-30 minutes before if you want there to be some hot water. But obviously, it's a small tank, so there's a limited amount of hot water. Whenever I do go back to the States, I'm like, Mom, I'm so sorry. Dad, I'm so sorry. I'm going to like totally throw up your water bill and probably electricity bill because I'm going to take super long hot showers and baths just because I can't, even if I want to in Peru. And the last thing I miss is going barefoot. Because there's a lot of sand and dirt and pollution in the air because we're in a big city here in Peru, and there's also not animal control like there is in a lot of the places in the States. So you have lots of stray animals, and so as you're walking in the street, you don't know what kind of bacteria and things you could be bringing in, and so it's just part of the culture that you don't take your shoes off in the house. You're always in sandals or in shoes or in slippers. And that's something I miss. I miss just getting to get inside the house and immediately take off your shoes and go everywhere barefoot. And maybe I would even walk down the street or walk to the mailbox barefoot. And that's something you can't really do here. And I remember the first day that Nilton was always like, "Why do you always want to go around barefoot? Why would you want that?" And then one day after we had mopped the house and we knew that everything was clean, he went around barefoot for a little while, and then I think he started to get addicted to it. He was like, "You do feel kind of free." So that's something I miss, going around barefoot. So if you've ever lived in another country as a missionary, or for work, or for school, or for whatever, what are the things that you missed the most? Did you miss foods? Did you miss certain traditions with family? What other things did you miss? And I have to finish. I can't not say this. I miss Tex-Mex and barbecue. I'm a good Texan girl, and I miss those things all the time. Tex-Mex foods and barbecue. And I also miss, because in Arlington, Texas, where I grew up, we have such a wide variety of foods from all different cultures. Mediterranean foods, different kinds of foods from different Asian cultures. We also even have a Russian restaurant in Arlington, and I miss that. I miss that variety of when you get to go out to explore different flavors. But anyways, let me know what you think about those things and what you've missed when you've lived outside of the States or out of your home country. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.